fight comes, I constantly have this goal of awakening all my senses. I know the Valkyrie is a very versatile opponent and this matchup is always very intense. I focus on getting as much information as possible on my opponent's playstyle, the attacks he likes more than others, the way he builds his mix-up. Does he give rhythm? Is he comfortable in close position? At what level does he respect my full block stance? The first round is the most important, by far, and I don't care if I lose this one. Just want to be in front of him, of my information gathering. I'm waiting for him, he's ready, one last breath, and I put the honor of my conqueror back into play, always with the same desire to use the most of my kits, in the most efficient and elegant way possible. Full block stance to open, heavy into shield crush followed by a heavy feint without reaction from me. He directly chained with a dodge, he wanted to deflect me if I choose to parry his heavy. I instantly understand that he has good XP and that he carefully builds his offensive phases. I try to take the lead with a heavy into mix-up shield bash, which is very often an effective opener against good players. It allows me to cover his enter strike if he ever decides to go on it. On my bridge, I decide to go for a heavy in full block stance to bait a guard break, but he remains patient and does not fall into the trap, quietly waits for me to launch my heavy to parry it. At this moment, he starts a complex offensive phase. Heavy feint into pouncing thrust, heavy confirmed, followed by 2 heavy into shield crush in a row, followed by a last stun light finisher. I take the lead a second time and force him to read on defense. Light opener followed by a bridge heavy into mix-up shield bash. This time I confirm my heavy. Good decision. And finally an additional chain light. This last light may be risky, but he was surprised by the former side heavy and lost a bit concentration. I see his heavy into shield crush opener and catch it immediately with a light in response, but I chain it with a second predictable chain light and get punished with an impale deflect. GG to him. I check my life and the blade that puts the pressure on me and lose a bit my concentration for a second and get guard breaked. End of the round. I review the round in my head. I have 20 seconds to take stock. I have to take the lead more often. He is hard to read in offense but very vulnerable in defense. He likes heavy crush. I have to cut it with dispatch light if I want to disturb him. He starts again with the same opener. This time I decide to wait. He does it a second time, but I take longer to launch my light and wait for the end of his full block stance to steal the lead. I follow on a heavy feint into full block stance. I feel that he will go on Hunter Strike and prepare myself for Super Block Heavy. I know he can stare at me and just wait to parry me, but I want to take the risk because he didn't use the Hunter Strike during the first round, and according to me it's a good moment for him to use it. Good read for myself, I gain confidence and propose a heavy bash for the first time to follow as a step 2, then 3 lights, and try a second heavy to mix up shield bash. Bad trade this time because he decides to parry it. I throw a top light from neutral, he does a forward dodge. I think he wanted to deflect me, believing that I was throwing a top heavy from neutral. I understand then that he is still confident to try something like that at this moment of the fight. I catch him again with a light on his heavy into shield crush opener. This is the key for me. If I am able to catch his openers like that most of the time, I will be ahead mentally. After this, I want to reposition myself in mid-range too early. He remains attentive and catches me with a guard break. It's a mistake for myself. 3 heavy followed by a second heavy then a stun. He has the advantage but prefers to move back when he should have put the pressure on me. Maybe he's starting to lose track a bit. It's good for me. I decide to do a forward dodge followed directly by a sneaky full block stance to bait a panic light from him. This is a good read. I punish him with a flare uppercut. Then delayed light followed by a heavy in flash full block stance. But this time I won't repeat the first round mistake. I know he will not fall into the trap of the bait, so I decide to do only 1 light instead, to give him less time to parry it. He blocks the second light. I feel he will go on a classic guard break to take the lead, so rather than staring close to him in order to counter GB only, I know that I have enough time just after this to launch a zone. 8 little damages is still better than refresh neutral only. It allows me to conclude the round. The physiognomy of the fight is starting to turn. I feel like I'm starting to gain the upper hand. I expect a reaction from him. I have a feeling that he will leave a close position in order to put himself mid-range. Too bad, I should have kept my full block stance for the uppercut, but I didn't expect him to try a superior block light. GB from neutral, I remain vigilant. As I presented it, he is looking for a mid-range position. Heavy into mix-up shield bash, still efficient opening. I go to a confirmed heavy, followed by risk kitchen light. He stay focused and I get parried, but I recover immediately. It's been twice in a row that I managed to stop him on his bridge light. Blocking him very early, his offensive phase is very destabilizing for him, and a very good thing for me. Another heavy shield crush that I catch with a light. And now that he stopped earlier and early on his offensive phases, he naturally goes for a GB, which remains the only solution to open. I try to move back and forth between mid-range and close position in order to dispatch light without rhythms. Poke harassment is the way for me now. He's losing confidence and becomes less patient, and now I can see that he falls into the trap of my flash full block stand when I bait a guard break.
Round 4.
He rushes directly at me, panic dodge from myself. Guard break, after the second heavy I feel he will perform a sweep and decide to dodge. Bad read again, I get guard breaked, heavy followed by a second heavy confirm. I'm just content to block and wait for the next 50-15 coming. I'm still putting him on a sweep and decide to dodge again, this time good read. But unfortunately my dodge is a bit late, which gives him enough time to recover to counter GB. I'm taking the lead again with a light opener, nice hunter strike from him to counter my heavy bash bridge. I see he has simplified his playstyle, he decides to let his strikes go more often, so I decide to take the offensive again because I begin to have a little more trouble reading him in defense, in the same way as he may decide to let go of my strikes too. Once again, a heavy into shield crush opener catched by a light. Still moving back and forth between mid-range and close position, taking the benefit of the huge light tracking of the Conqueror. Low life for us too, I take a little time for the last shot, him too, I let him leave his full block stance. At the moment I feel like he's going to go on a panic light, pouncing thrust to strike or something like that, because his confidence still hasn't returned, plus he was leading wide in this round and I have the upward momentum. So I decided to do it again with a forward dodge into sneaky full block stance like during the round 2, and I catch him with a final flail uppercut. Duty fulfilled. If you ever like this video format with in-depth mind gaming, just tell me in your comments below guys. I sincerely wanted to thank you for your support. Making videos takes me a long time and without you and your interest it certainly wouldn't be the same. So thank you again. I don't know yet which direction I will give to the channel, but I have a lot of motivation, desire and expectations. So I will continue to post content as often as possible and hope to reach more and more people in my crusade. If you like this video, just subscribe or like. It's probably the best reward I can get from you. Take care dude and stay tuned.